Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that be linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Only a couple of weeks to go now until the season starts. Actually, under a couple of weeks. We kick off on that Friday night, first game of the Premier League season, Arsenal away at Crystal Palace. I'm looking forward to it already. Can't wait to see what the starting lineup's going to be with so many new players coming in. But will we have any more before that first game? Will Arsenal try and get one more in before that first game? Or will they just say, listen, there's still a little way to go. Window shuts at the 1st of September. Let's wait and see what's happening in the market. We're still being linked with a load of players at the moment. This one's intriguing. Arthur MELO. We were in for Arthur MELO in January. That was 100%. We were trying to get a loan deal done with Juventus for him to come to Arsenal from January till the end of the season. They wanted a 2-year loan deal and it fell apart. Now, we're still being heavily linked with him again. This guy was, bought in to Juventus and seen as a mega signing, seen as a game-changing signing when they bought him in that £60 million deal that involved Pjanic going the other way. It's been an absolute disaster both ways for that deal. And now Juventus are desperately trying to get rid of Arthur MELO. Now, he's on very high wages. As I said, it was a big deal when he came in. And it looks like if he does move, it's going to be a loan move away. Now, will Arsenal rekindle their interest in the Brazilian? We know that Edu likes the Brazilian players. He's Brazilian himself. He knows the Brazilian players inside out. As I said, this guy, he was a top prospect when he first came to European football, seen as the next big thing, but it just hasn't worked out for him. A really sort of creative player, can play the ball in between the lines. You know, he's all about creation. He's all about skill. Not the most physical of players. Is it going to be a player that Arsenal move for? Another team that are very interested in signing Arthur at the moment is Valencia. They've said to me have put in a real concrete interest there. Manager Gattuso, really, really interested in signing him as well. But will Arsenal make a move for Arthur MELO? We're going to have to wait and see how that one turns out. This one's interested. JARROD Bowen. Now, I mean, he's West Ham's best player. Or he was last season. He was brilliant last season for West Ham, but he's still not stopping the links today, and they've been going on for weeks, linking him with Arsenal, linking him with Liverpool. He had a fantastic season last year, 18 goals and 13 assists in 51 games. Great player, scores goals, full of energy. A sort of player that you could definitely see suiting Arsenal. We know that we were looking for a player who can play out on that wide right wing, and that's exactly what he does. And now the rumours have been bubbling up again today as West Ham, there's reports that West Ham are trying to sign Martin Terrier from Rennes, and he plays in exactly the same position. So because of that now, all of a sudden the rumours are back again. You've seen them at Arsenal, Liverpool on high alert. I just can't see it. I mean, listen, it's not impossible because I would have said that to you about the Rafinha thing. I would have said, I can't see Arsenal getting Rafinha because why would Leeds sell their very best player? But they were going to do it. They were prepared to do it. Now, remember, Arsenal were looking to pay around about £55 million for Rafinha. Could they come in with a similar offer for a JARROD Bowen? As I said, he had a great season last year. His wages, he's only on about £60,000 a week, the reports state. Obviously, Arsenal would be able to, they'd be able to pay way more than that. There are rumours that West Ham want to sit down with him and try and tie him down to a new contract and double his wages. But could JARROD Bowen be tempted away from West Ham this season? I think this is one of those ones that if Arsenal had Champions League football, it would be a lot easier to do. They don't. He's a prize asset at West Ham United. The transfer fee would be very high. they try and go for something ridiculous. I can't see it happening, but the links are still there today. And as I said, a lot of that driven by the fact that, they are looking at an alternative West Ham. So that is why the rumours are bubbling up. CODY Gakpo is still on the radar as well. That one we've spoken about several times. 21 goals last season and 15 assists in the Dutch league. He's not against a move to the Premier League. He's said in an interview before that, his team that he used to watch the most in England was Arsenal. His idol is Thierry Henry, as they always are. Now, could he be tempted with a move to Arsenal? Certainly, any move for him would have to involve a lot of patience from Arsenal, because PSV are actually in the qualifying rounds of the Champions League. They got, I think they got a game on August the 9th. Then they play another game towards the end of August. Now, as I said, the transfer window shuts on the 1st of September. But PSV are not going to want to let CODY Gakpo go before those two games. Those are two huge games for them. We all know the sort of money involved when you get into the Champions League. And for a team like PSV, that's absolutely massive. So they're not going to be letting CODY Gakpo go unless it was something absolutely ridiculous in the offer until those two games happen. But once those two games do happen, CODY Gakpo will become vulnerable. So Arsenal going to have to display a lot of patience with this one if they are to move for him. And also, it would be in Arsenal's interest to wait until after, would it be or wouldn't? I don't know. Listen, I guess it would be, because if they move now, it would be a ridiculous amount. If they moved after those two Champions League games, and let's just say PSV didn't qualify for the Champions League, that price might be, not necessarily the price. It might go down a bit, but the player may be more willing to move because, he's not going to be in the Champions League with PSV. He might just fancy then saying, right, let me go and just get a move to the Premier League. It's a lot of scenarios around it, but it's going to involve a lot of patience. But let's see how that one works out with CODY Gakpo, if indeed Arsenal are chasing CODY Gakpo. And then there's a Lucas Paqueta one. Still today in the news, Lucas Paqueta, Lyon's recruitment chief, Bruno Chiroux, he was speaking in a press conference, and he openly admitted under his quotes, "We need to reduce the size of the squad." Asked specifically about Lucas Paqueta and if he'd be allowed to leave Lyon, his words were, "We are prepared for every eventuality." So that seems to indicate, he's not denying it. He's not saying that, they wouldn't sell Lucas Paqueta. He's saying they're prepared for every eventuality. That means Paqueta could be one of those players that goes. Now, it's interesting because Edu was asked about Lucas Paqueta by TNT Brazil, and he seemed to indicate that, he's not going to move for Paqueta because even though he's a big admirer of him, there's other players that play in that position. So let's see how that works out. We don't know with Edu. He moves pretty stealthily in this transfer market. You don't know what he's going to do. He's pulled off some great deals already. Of course, the Jesus one in particular. I mean, I was reading today that Real Madrid were really interested in signing Jesus, but some visa problems prevented him from getting that one. We know that Chelsea wanted him, a whole host of clubs. So he's been moving very stealth. Fabio Vieira, when he pulled that off, nobody saw that coming. So you never know on the Paqueta thing. Let's wait and see how that one works out. Bernd Leno, now, will he or won't he move to Fulham? It seems to be getting closer to this one being done. It looks like there's starting to be an agreement over the fee, which has been the real sticking point, and Bernd Leno will become a Fulham player very, very shortly, and they want to get that one done before the start of the season. And what about Youri Tielemans? The chairman, and I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his name, right? But the chairman of Leicester City claiming yesterday that there's been no concrete offers yet for Youri Tielemans. It was asked specifically about, has there been any offers for Youri Tielemans? And he said, no concrete offers yet for Youri Tielemans. So, again, really interesting. Arsenal just playing a waiting game on this, just being patient. and waiting, and then going to try and swoop down later on in the transfer window. But no offers yet for Youri Tielemans, either from Arsenal or from Man United, said to be the two clubs really, really interested in him right now. Bukayo Saka, star player, star boy. Still waiting to see if he's going to get a new contract, but it's starting to look like that's looking good. Edu saying that, you know, Saka's happy and they're going to be sitting down and talking to him about a brand new deal. He's got 2 years left on his current deal, but they're looking to time down to a new deal. Spoke about this a few days ago, which would more than double his wages and put him on parity for what he is, which is a really, really top player. He's looked really sharp in pre-season as well, and that would be great news for Arsenal. And he was also interested in listening to Edu talking about Marquinhos. We've seen him sparingly in the pre-season games. Came on against Chelsea the other night. Haven't really got to see a lot of him. Like the look of him, the way he's built and everything, he looks a real player. But it does look like Arsenal may send him out on loan. And Edu was talking about, you know, him having to be impatient and he's part of the process, and how he's spoken to his family and explained to them, you know, what their plans are for him. And it does look like he may go out on loan. No sort of concrete place where he's going to go out on loan yet. But wouldn't surprise me at all if Marquinhos goes out on loan this season. It was kind of the plan as soon as they brought him in. He's a very young player coming to the Premier League for the first time, and they want to assimilate him and they want to bring him in slowly. So let's see how that one works out. Listen, thanks for watching the show today. Don't forget to check out all of our excellent content. The vlog of day 5 of our trip to the USA is absolutely epic. Access all areas. We're in the stands, we're behind the scenes, we're pitch side. It's absolutely unbelievable content. You've got to check that out. I highly, highly recommend it. Listen, thanks for watching the show, and I'll be back tomorrow. See you then.